Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, March the 28th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Refresh. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Refresh. Probably the first thing you thought of is I meant for you to right click on your chart and hit the refresh button. And yeah, sometimes you need to do that when the data's stale or there's been a slight hiccup or problem. But what I'm really referring to is your brain, refreshing your brain. Now, that can mean a couple of things too. One is, if you're really hard at it, sometimes you just need to take a break so you can refresh. But the other part is that sometimes, just like the charts, the data in your brain might need to be refreshed because you may forget something that's slightly important, and if you do, it could be detrimental. There's many things. You've got your trading plan and your rules, but sometimes in the heat of the battle, you might be focusing on one aspect of your trading plan or rules and completely forget about another aspect. And once again, that could catch you. For example, you're hot and heavy in the trading and you lose track of the time, and then all of a sudden a news event comes out and boom, you get whacked. Had you known about that news event, you would either not been trading, not put on any trades during that time. You might have taken off trades that you already had, or you might have hedged your position, but you would have taken a different action. You would have done something differently or not done something than what you did, all because you weren't refreshing your mind. So as you're trading, keep that in mind. Just take a pause. Look over everything. If you're on the chessboard and you're in the middle of the board there and there's this big battle going on, in the meantime you don't see that your opponent opened a column and his rook is about to come down and create havoc on you. So so you have to look at the whole board, not just the whole chart, but the whole board. And the board includes your trading plans and all those other items that you've got to help you and to keep you on track. Because once again, all it takes is one mistake, just one thing you forgot about, and the next thing you know, you could be done. So let's go through the charts. We haven't gone through the charts in a while, and let's just see what's happening. So monthly, we've got the pound in the green. It's 288 pips above the monthly open, only 33 off the high, 32 off the high right now, and 509 off the low. And it looks like we're crossing on the daily. We're crossing above. I wonder why I didn't have that set to current. There's probably, because it's the wick zones. That's why. All the gaps have filled. On the weekly, we're 89 pips above the open, 19 off the high, and 93 off the low. And as you can see right now, we're still inside the range of the previous week, and we're in that upper wick zone of the week. On the daily, we broke out of the opening range for the week, which was Monday's high yesterday, 17 pips above it at the moment, and well above the yearly opening range and the monthly opening range. For the year, 220 pips above the yearly open. Wick zones, we actually dipped back in the wick zone from 5 days ago, but pushed above 28 pips at the moment, 27.9. There you go. So we're also above that weekly inside bar, but we are still within that monthly inside bar from last month. Oh, and Freddie, it looks like if you're still watching the videos, it looks like the euro had some inside bar action. Only 52 pip range, so range today is kind of anemic for this time of day. We have 5 pairs over 100 pips. You can see we hit the buy zone, ran up, came all the way back down, hit the buy zone again, and took off. If you're trading that daily crossover, you probably had to scratch that trade or stop out. Rats, range is large enough, but barely large enough. You can see here the red rats had a feast and the green rats had a feast. And now it looks like the red rats are about ready to feast because the green rats got triggered here. Notice that's the smart rat zone. The original rat zone did not trigger, but if you saw that, you just got about a pip into that zone and it bounced. And if you're wondering, if you're just tuning in, what's the difference between the smart rat zone and the regular rat zone? Well, the regular rat zone requires the trader to run the frequency distribution and then put in what they think the rat zone should be based on that. Smart rat zone does the indicator does all those computations inside, so the trader doesn't have to. So you can see here that price has been moving away from the daily high and the daily low a little bit more than 20 pips most of the time. So I think it takes the 80 percentile, and that's, yeah, I'm pretty sure, because that says 20%. So that's where that zone is. And like, it's only off by about 1 or 2 pips. So it doesn't really make that much difference in the grand scheme of things. It's just one day it hit me. It's like, why am I doing this by hand when the computer is calculating it anyway? I learned something long ago. For those of you who don't know, my degree's in computer science, and you should never ever tell the computer something it told you. Basically, if you see anybody typing in to the computer from a computer printout, that you've got something in the system that can be automated, you know. And so in this case, it kind of applied to the indicator, since one indicator was cranking out the data. So you just put that code in the indicator for the smart rat zone. That's probably more than what you wanted to know, but there might be one person interested out there. So Bambino Flex indicator was indicating long, price near the pivot long, and it doesn't look like we hit the pivot again. So we have not hit the pivot, but we did take out the pivot from a couple of days ago. So far in March, we have 4 missed pivots. For the week, we took out the pivot, and for the month, we have taken out the pivot. In and out of that upper wick zone, as you can see there. And looking at the higher low, lower high scalper, looking at M5, you see we had a trigger on a flip-flop box. The highest low was there. Where's the lowest high? That's interesting. It's not even showing the lowest high. Let me, maybe we need to refresh. Speaking of refresh, let's check out the time frame. There's the lowest high on M1. Back to M5, and there's the lowest high right there. So you see that one triggered the last bar and pretty much aligned with the flip-flop box. So taking either one of those trades at the time would have been profitable, but as you can see, price is coming back, so you don't want to give back. Looking here at the ATR zones, along with where the trades are appearing, you can see we haven't been in the ATR zone here. Okay, we crossed above the upper wick zone, where there's the previous day's high. Okay, we're not in the rat zone. We're not near a holo. The high occurred 6 hours ago, and the low occurred 16 hours ago. So you can see that right there and there. Whoops. Not quite time to end the video. And just looking at the inside bar, outside bar here, I was working on the state change. And the looking at the 3 balls with the dynamic support resistance, the trailing entry of 2 pips, that's what the TE stands for. And you can see here off of the ball, taking that trailing entry. And what I mean by a trailing entry is when you go long, you want price to be moving in your direction. So as the price is moving down, the trailing entry moves down. And then when it comes back up, if it hits it, then price is moving the direction you want it to go. So I have a 2 pip trailing entry off of the dynamic support resistance here. Now, what happened was, how I came about this back in the days of, I think it was EFX Group. On their platform, you could actually use I figured it out, you could use the trailing stops to enter. So because it's like, you know, you get in the trade and the first thing it does, it goes against you. So in this case, you put that trailing stop on, so it's got to be moving in your direction. So what happens is, as soon as you put it on, it starts moving against you. Well, guess what? It moves that trailing entry down. So it might actually give you a better entry than you were originally hoping for. So for example, right here at 2308, or now it's 2310, if you were to jump in at this price, and then all of a sudden, as you saw, it just moved down. Well, if it keeps moving down, well, that entry is going to move down, and you will get a much better entry. It's just something that I observed and started using. And that's not an EA, it's just an indicator telling you where to jump in. And of course, you know, sometimes it'll go up to where you enter, and then it'll turn right back around. But that's just the breaks. Okay, looking at the indicator 2, you see here we put in almost a double top, and price is coming back down, looks like. Playing the fib numbers between the semaphores, you can see here, it put in a 3 ball, came back to the 50, then to the 61. And just the Walmart line, simple. And looking at the range here on H4, there's more room for it to move. So fellow traders, you know, remember, refresh. Maybe before you start your trading day, just go over everything, even though you probably know it by heart. Because remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.